Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh, thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management, get everything you need up into the cloud. A different kind of sending you up into the cloud that this weekend did in the world of sports. World Series, college football, NFL. It's November. Joe, there's only one way to start today's show appropriately.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We are in Thanksgiving mode. And yes, that voice that sounds familiar is one Chuck Amato.
Happy Thanksgiving.
The reckoning happened, Joe. The reckoning occurred.
Unbelievable. Or was it?
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
I thought this was the most appropriate sports phone call to play as we get into this topic.
Dave Doeren haters right now.
You can't keep getting away with it!
That's an excellent Jesse Pinkerton.
Oh, goodness. All right. Where do we want to start with Georgia Tech, NC State? We got Carolina getting over on Syracuse Friday night. We got Duke over Clemson. We got the Panthers shocking the world up at Lambeau Field. We got World Series. We got the other reckoning that starts tonight over at the Lenovo Center. I mean, like, folks, when we say we have a lot to get into today, we have a lot to get into today. But we will start with NC State and Georgia Tech. I have said multiple times this year, and going all the way back into the summer, if NC State's going to have a successful season, it's going to have to be the offense putting up points and the defense doing enough. I did not know that it could look as perfect as it did on Saturday night at Carter Finley Stadium against Georgia Tech, where CJ Bailey and that offense, and guys also stepping up in the absence of Justin Jolie and Hollywood Smothers in a big fashion. But again, CJ Bailey putting together a wonderful game. Get ball, score the ball. Get ball, score the ball.
Hold serve.
And then the defense just has to do enough. And they forced Georgia Tech into trading touchdowns for field goals, including what I thought was the most critical situation there on a goal line stand. They eventually got them to a 4th and 1. Georgia Tech had a procedural penalty that pushed them back, forced them to a field goal. And I thought, oh, damn, NC State might do this thing. And they did. And Joe, what we've been joking about all season, I think you called this back early in either in the preseason or at the beginning of the season.
No, Georgia Tech kind of got hot. It was after they beat Clemson.
It was after they beat Clemson. With Georgia Tech being hot, you said, well, NC State has a chance to do the funniest thing.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And bring back the Sopranos ABC intro and get revenge on the Yellow Jackets.
The debt has finally been paid. I thought the play of the game was actually, and for a very specific reason, I thought the play of the game was the 55-yard touchdown pass to Teddy Hoffman. State was up 31-23. There's 2 minutes and change left in the third quarter. And it was the exact kind of play that I've been begging Dave Doeren and NC State to run for 13 years. Instead of saying to Teddy Hoffman, hey, just go deep and beat your guy, they ran a rub. They ran a crossing route. They actually tried to confuse the defense. Sure as shit, they confused the defense. He's wide open, catches the ball, makes a great play, gets to the end zone. The game ended right there.
Yeah.
That was a great play. Hats off to CJ Bailey. I thought he was really, really good in this game, was engaged with the crowd. You know what he was doing, Joe? He's the highest paid player on NC State's team, but you know what he was doing? He's having fun. He was over with the students. He was over with the fans all game. Like, he was totally engaged, totally like living for that moment. Number 8, Georgia Tech ruining their season, or at least putting a mark on their season, making them have to work a little bit harder to potentially get to the ACC championship game, which, oh boy, Duke, the path is open.
It's there for you, man.
It's open.
We'll get to that in a second.
Or be even making the playoff. And I think Miami may have played themselves or the ACC out of a second playoff spot, almost certainly this weekend. So that's a weird one. Duke Scott, I think, gets a lot of credit here too. Yeah, Justin Jolie didn't play, but let's be honest, they've mostly ignored Justin Jolie all year. Like that, and that's why people get frustrated. Noah Rogers basically played for the first time since the opener. You're like, Wait, you have a receiver from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Are those guys good?
Yeah.
Are those guys typically good?
Yeah.
Like, and these are all the frustrations that come out from NC State fans. It's like, it's not even, why don't you make the whole plane out of the black box? It's just like, I don't, it's like sometimes you just don't get it, right?
So here we are with two things being true at once. This was a law of the wolf game.
I mean, there could not be any less expected from that game on Saturday, right down to the number of people, the shocking number of people who continuously texted me and said, is Haynes King like not playing? Like, please explain the 5.5 line.
Yeah.
And then the money was moving towards NC State on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I kept getting texts. I kept getting like, are you there?
Maybe Vegas.
Like, did Georgia Tech's flight get delayed? Did they
no,
what is happening?
I think that's what it is. I think Georgia Tech's defense got lost at Raleigh Durham. Didn't actually show up in Raleigh. They got stuck in Raleigh Durham. The airport. The airport. Some people will get that reference basically watching the game.
Georgia Tech's defense was really bad in this game, but I thought NC State's offense, CJ Bailey in particular.
Yes.
Since the first half of the Duke game, CJ Bailey has really struggled. And it kind of, this also serves as a reminder that college basketball was flattened, what would you say, 2 years ago? Flattened out. We've seen more competitive stuff. Just look at the ACC.
Okay, college football in general.
But I'm saying,
I know what you're saying.
Specifically at the ACC, and you're sitting here going, now wait a second. NC State potentially has wins over like every possible team that could be in the ACC championship game, other than Duke.
Yeah,
right. And you're sitting here going, but NC State's 4-4 up until Saturday. Georgia Tech running hot, has all these wins, and yet struggling to beat Clemson, who at home, by the way, Clemson now has home losses to Syracuse, SMU, and Duke this year. So I don't know how good Clemson is. I don't know how good Georgia Tech is, but I'll say this. The flattening that happened in college basketball 2 or 3 years ago has finally caught up to college football. I say this knowing full well it could be Alabama versus Ohio State in the national championship game.
Could be, yeah.
It could very well be that. But if you look across college football and what's happening and the investment that has risen up, even a school like Cal, even a school like Stanford, even a school like Georgia Tech can roll up in here and salute to Georgia Tech, by the way. I've been in a press box many a time where there's no one from Georgia Tech there. Georgia Tech was kind of rolling a little bit deep on Saturday night. I was like, "Oh, see what happens. Look what happens." I
mean, they're still in position potentially for the college football playoff. But that's a separate conversation we can have later about the implications of this. So we got Law of the Wolf, but you also have the Dave Doeren special. And I'm wondering if Dave...
I don't know if it could be the...
Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. One, Dave Doeren better ask somebody who he's friendly with that shows up to every scrum to ask him about retirement. Ask me every time.
Every week.
Ask me every time. Let's get the people going. Little Salty Dave came out a little bit on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Little bit. It was another one of these emotional wins for Dave, and you can read all you want into it.
By the way, Dave, you can't say you hate coaching a team, right, and then give the glory to God immediately after the game. Like, that's not a word that was in Jesus' vocabulary. Just so you know.
We're all flawed at the end of the day.
I guess
that's why you go to church every Sunday. We're all flawed.
That was quite a flip this week from Dave.
We were all born with sin, Joe. We were all born with sin.
I fucking hated that team.
Glory to God. I know. Hey, man, the duality of a man. There are two Daves. And that's where we're at. So this season alone, to get back to the frustration aspect that a lot of NC State fans have, he's got 2 wins over top 25 teams this season to go along with being embarrassed by an interim coach that just fired by Virginia Tech just getting fired. Okay. Like, and then there's what happened at Notre Dame, which again, you're going to schedule that as a loss, but then having just nothing to show in the game against Pitt. Like I said, all the things you have to do to be successful this season, you have to put your offense first, straight up, and then just hope your defense can do enough. This was something that Dave was allergic to back in July where I asked him that question. So, yeah, you're going to have to get comfortable giving up 30 points in a game as long as you put up 40.
Put more pressure on them. Yeah.
And you put more pressure on them to do that. And that's exactly what they did against Georgia Tech. And I thought, we can get into the nuances of the right play calls and putting your best playmakers in the right position to win, sometimes you have to have an honest conversation about just how good your playmakers are too. Okay. Especially at the wide receiver position. Sometimes you do get a little caught up in loving the roster that you have, a little bit of the Stockholm syndrome. But we do know that they invested in CJ Bailey, and maybe you're asking too much out of CJ Bailey. And we've seen him come with the ups and downs. He looked a little bit broken, discombobulated in the loss to Duke. It took a little bit of time for this to come back. And again, it all came back to this perfect situation. But this is now Dave's highest ranked win in 13 seasons with NC State. The previous one was number 9 Clemson back in 2021. But I cannot stress this enough. If you want to know why State fans are gray, if you want to know why NC State fans say Wolfpack ain't for soft people, the 2 biggest wins this season are in confrontation with how this season has gone about, how they've gone about this season. 2 top 25 wins against the 2 teams that could potentially play for the ACC championship game. The 2 teams that
Virginia and Georgia Tech.
Right. So it's kind of wild in that regard. And of course, you've seen this up and down Duke team that they lost to, which they didn't play perfect in that game. And I know, and because we got enough sports phone calls about this, and we'll play a few of them in Hey Joe. But there is what you said after the ECU win this season, and it kind of set the tone for how this year was going to go. Every time NC State wins, Dave Doeren in some form or fashion loses. And I think there's that element on Saturday night where it's like, oh man, this season's not going the way we thought it was going to go. It clears the decks for maybe NC State to go in a different direction. And now they see this, and it's like, is this Kevin Keats happening all over again? We saw what happened with Kevin Keats. Congratulations. You went and won. You ran the table, but it didn't really change anything. So yes, really exciting Saturday night in Carter Finley Stadium, but it doesn't really change anything for people in Dave Doeren.
Well, I think Dave had I think it was a nice moment for NC State on Saturday.
Yes.
Night. To see the people storm the field and actually enjoy something.
Yeah.
There wasn't any tension, like the normal, oh, here we go again. And that's to your point about holding serve and making the plays.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like yes, there are going to be some fans who say, oh, this means now Dave is back for not only year 14, but gosh, they'll never get, he's going to coach till he's 100, right? Yeah. Like I'm sure there's some of that out there, but this felt like more of a, hey, and even I think he tried to say this after the game, that the crowd was really good. They were into the game. Everyone came back in the third quarter
because they were in the game.
One thing I never noticed until Saturday night, NC State plays like a sound, like a wolf with I think it was 30 minutes before the start of the game, or maybe 15 minutes before the start of the game, and it's Dave Doeren with this recorded announcement that says, "Wolfpack fans, there's 15 minutes up until the game. Please come into the stadium. We need you in your seats.
Yeah.
We need you." And I had never heard that before. And so I was like,
well, how many battles are you in at that point?
Well,
I haven't heard it.
No, I was sober on Saturday. But what I'm saying to you is it just felt like there wasn't a whole lot of that usual consternation. There was a nice release for the students themselves too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we had fun talking about the reckoning with a W.
Yes.
But you have to be of our age to remember 02 and that being spoiled. All the fans and the younger fans in particular saw on Saturday night was you're playing a top 10 team in your building. It's at night. You beat them pretty good. You look like the team that you could be, and you had a chance to celebrate. You know what? I would walk it off right now. But we'll see what happens over the last 4 weeks of the season. They get a week off. They go down to Miami, who by all intents and purposes seems like they're broken.
Is it November? Is it November for Mario Cristobal in Miami?
They certainly have a coach who can't get out of his own way.
Did he just call another timeout?
And they discarded a coach, who seemingly has figured a few things out.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
All right, let's go back to the sports phone. Brought to you by Nature's Relief. This is from a 919.
I need someone to explain this whole sports thing to me. So just to recap, UNC beats Syracuse. In the context of this year, that's a little weird, but fine. Duke beat Clemson. Okay. State beat Georgia Tech. What? The Hurricanes lost to the Bruins. The Panthers beat the Packers. Everything I know is wrong.
That's called sports. This is why I get amused by schedule talk at the end of the day. All right, let's go back to Halloween night where North Carolina went up to Syracuse and took their best opportunity to notch a win over a Power 4 opponent and notch Bill Belichick's first ACC win. I said this last week. If Carolina's going to do it, these next 2 weeks is the opportunity to do it. Syracuse certainly served it up on a platter by starting a walk-on lacrosse player at quarterback and also having the worst defense in the ACC. And yet, Joe, the game starts off in classic Bill Belichick rookie season at North Carolina fashion with a turnover that leads to a disaster that leads to a lead, and North Carolina is trailing at the half. Trailing. Now, I guess to their credit, they did get a lead against a Power 4 opponent for the first time this season since the TCU game. They did it. But I think what happened on Friday night is an encapsulation of where I'm at with North Carolina and this season and where I assign a lot of the credit to. I give the players an immense amount of credit for how this season has not fallen apart. An immense amount of credit. Because you can go back to the circus that was post-Clemson loss, where it seemed that everything was falling apart, to the point where you had a joint statement from Bubba Cunningham and Bill Belichick that nobody took at face value as them being committed for the rest of the season. That did not look like two entities that were on the same page. But behind the scenes, it looks like the players made a decision. Behind the scenes, the coaching staff, if I'm going to give them credit, has to be pushing the right buttons about getting things on film. That understanding whatever you think of how the season's going to go, wins or losses, you still have yourself to play for and what your future in college athletics is going to be. I said this a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like it's coming true based on some conversations that I've been having. The portal and NIL changes everything. In that, much like in the NFL, we say it all the time, players do not tank. Players are not interested in tanking. The owner might be interested in tanking. Hello, Stephen Ross, Miami Dolphins. The fans might be interested in tanking, but the players don't because they've got contract incentives. They've got their own contracts to play for. They might be playing for another job. So all that is to say, these things play out in the college ranks as well, where players are putting everything on film. And it's entirely possible either they're playing for a job next year, because who's to say they don't make more wholesale changes in the portal at UNC under Bill Belichick if he's back next season. And if you know you're not going to be back next season because you don't want to deal with this crap, well, you've got enough on film to go somewhere else. So I give the players a hell of a lot of credit for sticking with it. This could have gone in any number of directions. They went in this direction and they stuck with it. And we saw earlier in the year where they would melt down, they'd get down on themselves, and the games would unravel. That easily could have happened after two losses at the last minute at the goal line, and then trailing at the half against a team that was starting a lacrosse player, walk-on quarterback, against the worst defense in the ACC. And it paid off with a win, Joe.
I respect that you have an original take on Carolina and you're sticking to that take. I do respect that.
The reason why I'm sticking with that take is at the end of the day, regardless of how the season goes, I know I'm going to be right about the year.
Well, I think what's funny, though, is we are careening towards the definition of triangle good, aren't we? Because finally, on Saturday, Bill Belichick gets the game. Oh, you had TCU circled? Cool. Oh, maybe you had Clemson circled. Cool.
Yeah.
No, sir. The game Bill Belichick had fucking circled was Stanford. The second he saw who the coach was at Stanford, he goes, "Hey, buddy, I know who the fuck I'm beating." There's an NFL coach? Oh shit.
Oh, Frank, was that Frank? Is that what Frank's up to?
We're deflating some balls.
Let's go.
We're putting a linebacker at tight end. Hey, buddy, I'm unloading the arsenal on November 8th when Frank Reich and an NFL coach gets to town. They're going to be 4-5. 4-5, which sounds a lot like, 5-4-5, 5-4, 6-1. Here we are.
Yeah.
And then they finish with Wake, Duke, and State. They'll need to win 2 of those 3 to get to 6 wins. The magic number.
Yeah.
The magic number we all thought. So your larger point about this grand experiment by Carolina not working, I agree. You are going hard, and I respect that you're going hard in the paint, even though they have improved the last 3 weeks.
Where am I going hard in the paint? Explain to me where I'm going hard in the paint.
I agree with you that Syracuse sucks. Yeah, I agree with you.
What's wrong with pointing out?
Whoa.
Hold up. Yeah. What's wrong with pointing out that Syracuse is not the same Syracuse team we saw earlier this year that was getting Fran Brown?
That one at
right,
Clemson.
What's wrong? What's going hard in the paint to point out that, holy shit, Carolina, if you're going to do it, it's got to be Friday, and you still trailed at half.
Okay. I'm telling you.
What's wrong with
I respect it, but you're going hard. I respect it.
I just spent 3 minutes monologuing, giving the players credit. How am I going hard in the paint?
I'm telling you, they've played better. Going back to the Cal game, they have played better.
Relative to the competition.
Hey, given what we know about the ACC, with Wake Forest out here winning 1 week against SMU and getting run out of the gym by FSU, it's like a week-to-week thing.
You're so
not even year-to-year.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's setting up perfectly for all of our premises about triangle football.
Okay, that's a separate conversation.
Okay.
Because I think the difference between you and me is that I do not see Carolina finishing the way you think they're going to finish. I do not.
Boy, they're gonna feel good about running Stanford out of the gym next week, sir. They are gonna feel good about it.
That is my concern for Carolina, because you got a lot of people acting as though suddenly they're good. For instance, look, I don't know Grant Hughes. Okay.
No, don't confuse me with what I'm saying. That they're good. I'm saying they have played better defensively. There's no disputing they've played better defensively. They gave up 34 points to a terrible Central Florida team. We're never in it. By the way, they got jammed by a Clemson team that's god awful. That's god awful. Okay, so and then you get better at the Cal game. They should have won, but they gave up. I'm just saying they gave up 21 points to Cal. That's still progress. They gave up 10 points in regulation to Virginia. Virginia might have the second best or best offense in the ACC. That's progress. Yes, Syracuse is dog shit. I agree with you, but they still only gave up 10 points. They won the football game. They are gonna put it on Stanford. They're gonna be 4-5. And the big board behind Bill Belichick is going to have those teams in the state. There's going to be a big check mark next to Charlotte. I get it. That's not what he came here for, but it's the same as it ever was, man. That's the best part of all of this. Even the big brain on Bill has gotten sucked into the vortex of triangle good. That's what we should be celebrating.
So the reason why I'm hesitant to get too excited about this is, one, I am in shock at the kid gloves being used when it comes to this.
I don't know if it's kid gloves.
It's kid gloves, straight up kid gloves. We're looking like I brought up this tweet section from Grant Hughes. Now, I'm not confusing you two.
Right.
I'm simply using Grant as an avatar for the attitude that I am now getting coming out of Carolina, and why I'm saying we're treating this like kid gloves, as if this is why you brought Bill Belichick here.
No.
Okay. So I don't know Grant. I've never met Grant. 24/7. I know people at 24/7. It's CBS. All love. I'm only bringing this up to illustrate a point. I'm not going at Grant. I want to be abundantly clear. Look at me in the eye sockets. It's the first reference we'll have to Key and Peele today. There's another one coming up. Bill Belichick and UNC, 3-5, are now 1 win short of matching Deion Sanders' first-year win total at Colorado, 4-8. The two most radical and similar offseason overhauls. Deion had Shador and a future Heisman in Travis Hunter. UNC should be 5-3. The sky was never falling. Okay. Okay. UNC has been improving incrementally week by week, despite facing massive injuries and absolute media circus. If you've watched the last two games, this performance versus Cal isn't surprising. Heels were 2 plays away from 5-3 and 3-1. We keep doing this. They're only 2 plays away. They're only 2 plays away. They're only 2 plays away. They're 2 plays away from being 5-3, and they lost in ways in which that's why you moved on from Mac Brown. Also, we are not about to do the Colorado UNC comparison thing. We are not about to do this because I've seen it. I used Grant as an avatar. I'm not saying he's not the only one using this thing.
You know where this is coming from, right?
Where is it coming from?
Whoever's in Belichick's camp that's trying to reach out and be like, no, remember Colorado.
Right, because Colorado
that's who your peer is.
Because Colorado and UNC as programs were in the same boat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This the same, like one for one Spider-Man meme.
The same.
Colorado and UNC, same situation. A program that we had literally forgotten about. Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. UNC, the one that makes bowl games, puts guys in the NFL.
They've been pretty good.
They've been pretty good. They just haven't reached where you want them to reach, but they've been good.
They've been trying.
They've been triangle good. Also, Deion's contract versus Belichick's contract.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are not about to try to contextualize this as it's Colorado and UNC are 1 for 1. They're not. Deion was a crapshoot that you hope works. Okay. That was a literal roll of the dice to see if it works.
Yeah, you were getting Deion's family, but they were playing. With Bill, you're getting Bill's family, but
they're not playing. They're coaching.
I'm not sure how helpful they are.
I'm not even just the family. You're also bringing guys like Mike Lombardi in and his family.
Mm-hmm.
So we ain't about to do this. And this is the root of why, I guess, if you want to say I'm going hard in the paint on UNC, this is the heart of it. Because we're treating this as though it's something that it's not.
Right.
So spare me with they'd be 5. No, they're not.
No, I'm not giving you the if. I'm saying they have been better. They have been improving. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
I'm not saying if. I'm saying all of your points are correct. I'm just saying this thing is now setting up to give us one of the great finishes for us.
Okay.
Content wise.
I agree with you on that.
Everyone was like, oh, to your point, when they were hired, it was, wait a second. To be clear, when he was hired, it was, if Indiana can get there with Curt Cignetti, he doesn't have 6-8 Super Bowl rings. Let me retcon it correctly.
Yeah.
Curt Cignetti doesn't have 8 Super Bowl rings. If we pay $40 million to bring Bill Belichick, we could go 10-2 against a dog shit schedule and make the playoff. SMU, they don't have any money. They don't have any media money. They don't really have that many great players, but they have a good coach.
Yeah.
They went 8-0 in the ACC. We could go 8-0 in the ACC against a soft schedule and make the playoff. He was hired to, quote, win championships. That's what he was hired to do. What I am delighting in is even Bill Belichick has been sucked into our vortex in the state of North Carolina of eventually it all comes down to what'd you do against State? What'd you do against Duke? And what'd you do against Wake? And now, lo and behold, he's about to beat the one NFL coach on his schedule and beat him like a fucking drum this week in Chapel Hill. And it's going to be set up to see what is it going to look like against Wake, against Duke, and against State. So for me, it's beautiful theater. For me, it really is the same as it ever was.
I'm looking forward to the final 3 weeks of After Darks we are about to pull off. It's going to be very, very good for us.
You should be smiling.
I am smiling, but I'm also staying consistent in my feelings regarding UNC. And speaking of the After Darks, we've got them lined up with our friends Bloomin' Blinds to bring you our ACC football conversations. Check them out online at bloominblinds.com. Again, that's bloominblinds.com. And very much looking forward to how November picks up with our After Darks and something we'll get to in housekeeping, something else that we will be doing. Leading up to Christmas. I'm very excited about this.
I feel it in my plums.
Finally feeling it in your plums. Duke, ladies and gentlemen, do you want a perfect distilled version, a reduction sauce of Duke's season? Well, folks, all you had to do was watch Duke go to Death Valley and do something that Duke has not done since October of 1980. Appropriately enough, the #1 song in October of 1980. Do you know what the Billboard #1 song was?
Tide is High?
Another one bites the dust by Queen, which I actually thought was very appropriate given where we are at with college football. Because I'm not saying Dabo is going to be another one that bites the dust. They ain't going to fire him. But I don't know, man. The way things are going down in Clemson, Dabo might be looking for something else. Can't beat the devil down here in Death Valley? Man, it might be time for me to go somewhere else to do this.
Lost 2 straight to Duke.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Now,
In the way that they lost?
Dabo screaming at the defense and them looking completely checked out, not a good sign. Dabo entertaining I guess you could just fire me, which he had to then circle back to yesterday and say, oh, no. Me and the AD, we're good. I was just joking. Are you joking? He's also completely, there's a separate conversation about Clemson. Okay, separate conversation about Clemson.
Yeah, this isn't about really
But it's
Clemson.
not about Clemson. This is about Duke.
Down 7, ball on their own 6-yard line. 11 plays, 94 yards. Yes, they got a penalty call. And let me tell you something. I've been in that building a million times. I've never seen the visitor get that call, ever.
But it was the right call.
And it was the right call.
Here's the thing about that call. So we're doling out fines, okay? Dabo got a $10,000 fine for speaking on the officials. I get what he was mad at. They probably shouldn't have called it pass interference. They should have called it defensive holding because the whole thing
extends the drive.
It extends the drive. You can want to play semantics on the call because if you watch the entirety of the replay, I'll admit, when the first replay where they showed you the end of the sequence, I'm going, man, Duke's getting that call at Death Valley. But when they showed the full sequence, you're like, oh, no. That was the right call. In that they probably should have called it defensive holding. Not the point, though. It was something that extended the drive. And Manny Diaz, for as much as people want to pick at the ups and downs and the inconsistencies of this team, because that's what I said, it's a perfect encapsulation of this year. They come out hot. It looks like they're going to run the day. They're going to run into that building, blowing Clemson out. And then all the bad things about Duke this season came out to get Clemson in that game. But here's where I give Manny a lot of credit. Going for 2 in that situation, knowing what the defense had been doing at that point, Manny's like, nah, man. If we're going to win it, we're going to do it right here. Great play call, great execution, and now Clemson's in a spiral while Duke is still in this thing. And much like NC State can look back at a game like the Duke game and go, man, how does our season go if we don't just light ourselves on fire with the turnovers? Duke's probably thinking the same thing with that Georgia Tech game.
Yeah, but Duke controls its own destiny here.
They do.
They beat Virginia. They have the tiebreak over Virginia.
Yes.
They win out. They put themselves in the ACC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Going for 2 for Manny Diaz, by the way. That's a great call. And
great call.
One I would have argued, and I did in real time back in 2003 when Chuck Amato played at Ohio State. Remember, at the end of regulation, they scored a touchdown, and instead of going for the win, he went for the tie.
Happy Thanksgiving.
He went for the tie, and I thought that was one of the calls he really, really would have wished he would have had back. So A, that's awesome for Manny. B, the second part of this, that's awesome for Manny. For real. Mm-hmm. Now, to be clear, I questioned Duke hiring Manny Diaz after
we all did.
Mike Elko.
We all did.
To be clear. Okay. But let's look. Since Duke hired Manny Diaz, Duke is now 9-4 in the ACC since the start of the 2024 season. Mario Cristobal with Miami and all the advantages that Miami has. And remember, the last time we talked to Mario Cristobal was before the 24 season in Charlotte, and he said we had the best recruiting class in the history of Miami.
Yeah.
Sir, you are delusional, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, so in theory now, this should be when Mario Cristobal is running the hottest, right?
Yes.
Manny Diaz, in 2 years at Duke, 9-4 ACC. Mario Cristobal running his hottest, 8-4 in the ACC. Now let's go back and look at the 25 games that Manny Diaz coached at Miami. 16-9. That's not too bad. Hey, well, I mean, we didn't win the division. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. 16-9 in a pandemic. Not bad. Mario Cristobal, who you paid all this money to leave Oregon in his last 25 games in the ACC, 13-12. 13-12. I hope somewhere Manny Diaz was lighting up a Cuban cigar and enjoying the moment, enjoying not just Mario Cristobal's mediocrity and Miami's woes, but also his success. Tremendous for Duke. They've put themselves in position to win the ACC championship this year. Amazing.
Housekeeping.
Big thanks to Inovana. Check them out online at inovana.com.
If you have mess inside Get it green, clean with Enovana.
You have family coming over for Thanksgiving. You got family that's staying for the holidays. You get the house clean before and the house clean after. You can do one-time cleanings if you'd like. Again, just go to enovana.com. The OG winter pop-up shop is live. We've got full zip hoodies with patches on the chest, 5 stars down the sleeve. We got another patch with the OG Media, the new logo on the back. We got the Drunk Wolf on the front of some pullover hoodies. We've got beanies, toboggans, wool caps, whatever you want to call them. I don't care. Call them what you want to call them. Tomato. We got versions of that too. We got the cuffed patch beanies. We got the Drunk OG on the beanie. We got the palm. We got no palm. But here's the thing you got to understand. Go to ogtrianglemediashop.com. Again, that's ogtrianglemediashop.com. The shop closes on 12/1. Shop closes 12/1. It's a very short window of time for the OG Triangle Media Shop. That way, you can give the gift to the OG for Christmas. You want to make sure all the stuff arrives ahead of Christmas. So head on over to ogtrianglemediashop.com. Speaking of Christmas, we met with Hayes over at Rialto. We went to Longleaf Swine to talk to Hayes about our potential Christmas parade plans, Joe.
Okay.
Are you excited about this? Again, Longleaf, you want to have a meeting about Christmas parades, you go to Longleaf. Okay.
That's right.
Get your bourbon. You had that 12, man. That Weller 12.
Whoa.
It's good stuff.
The Black Weller.
It's good stuff. So it appears as though we will be doing some kind of live stream from the Raleigh Christmas parade this year.
Appears. We are making plans.
We are making plans
to have our own coverage on the YouTubes of the Raleigh Christmas parade.
We figured it out.
Okay.
We got one shot, you and me, another shot on the parade route, and then roving reporter Hayes Permar. We've even purchased the proper equipment for it.
We did?
It arrives this week.
Oh, yes.
Very excited about
That's
this.
exciting.
I'm excited they have a version of it that comes with a mic. Like you can actually clip it onto a mic.
Oh.
So it looks very professional.
Oh, yeah. I hate it when people hold the little tab.
We're professionals here.
Hate that.
With our wireless mic. Thank you very much. We'll have stickers. Do you got any more hats?
Somewhere.
We got plenty of hats, right?
Somewhere.
I mean, I know you love selling hats. So this is an opportunity to bring this stuff too.
Whew, scarring me right now.
And no, this tin,
not weed.
This tin is not weed. This tin is stickers.
Right?
There's nothing but stickers in there. So I'll bring that stash. We'll give the stickers out.
No,
for free.
he didn't open the box.
I'm just saying. Anyway, go to longleafswine.com. Big thanks to our guy, Matt Davis over at State Farm. Check him out online at suregarner.com. Call him directly at 919-779-8277. Home auto insurance. Maybe you haven't thought about it in a while. Just have a conversation. See how much money you could be saving. Or maybe you're thinking about, well, what's my retirement going to look like? Whoa. Financial planning is something that they can handle too. So check them out. InsureGarner.com. Roback just put out the holiday gift guide.
No, they did not.
Yeah, the email came out this morning.
Oh.
So have you paid off the credit card?
No.
Okay. Well, how about you pay off the credit card first before we start ordering more Roback?
Okay. Good call.
Good call? Okay. But
we're almost there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the YouTube money should hit here soon.
No, it did. We're
okay.
No.
I mean, honestly, that's why the YouTube channel, the $5 a month, that OG fans tier, that's really there for you to pay our taxes.
Correct.
That's all it's there for.
And we thank you.
The money's got to come from somewhere.
We thank you for
that. So head on over to roback.com. It is prime time to get yourself something for a holiday party, office party, going over to friends and family. You got dressed up nice, going out to dinner. Roback's got everything you need. Very versatile. And of course, you can use our promo code OG20 to save 20% off your order. Again, that's OG20 at roback.com. Also, big thanks to Hometown Realty. This is peak. We've outgrown this house season. It's peak. You have people over, you have family over. We're bursting at the seams. We need a new house. Well, there's a lot of inventory out there. How do you navigate that? Hometown Realty is how you do it. So check them out online at myhtr.com. Again, that's myhtr.com. All right, let's go to the NFL where the Carolina Panthers pulled it off against the Green Bay Packers.
The Packers or the Bears? I mean, not to dust off one of my great lines about Wake Forest, but shit, man, dress like the Bears, play like the Bears. What are you doing?
Yeah, the throwback unis were. I like the helmet
Brutal.
designs. I like the leather helmet design. I think it's kind of nifty. The optical illusion of the helmet. Going back to things that we said last week.
Beautiful G. Be proud of your beautiful G.
I will go back to something we talked about last week. And when we looked at the number, right? It was a pretty starchy number.
13 and a half.
13 and a half last time we checked with our friends at DraftKings.
What?
I said last week, if the Carolina Panthers are going to go back to what has worked, which is running the damn ball with Rico Dowdle and their defense gives them enough, and you also combine that with the fact that the Green Bay Packers are coming off the high of sticking it to Aaron Rodgers, and the fact that the Green Bay Packers are a team that is highly inconsistent this year. Never forget, their high-flying offense went away against the Cleveland Browns. Never forget, they found themselves in a tie with the Dallas Cowboys.
40-40.
Why?
I mean, they're spotting dimes and eating onions. I got nothing.
Now,
they also lost their best player. They're in a lot of trouble.
So now, again, I did not say the Panthers were going to win. I was simply saying that number didn't make a lot of sense if you can contextualize what the Green Bay Packers are going into this game. And more importantly, if the Carolina Panthers get back to what works. And here is Dave Canales after the game asking everybody to just dream with him a little bit.
Just dream with me a little bit. Get us to high stakes games and you guys will do it. Okay? I believe in this group. You guys believe in each other. You just kept battling and battling. Okay, we got some people to recognize. First of all, Fitzy, 49-yard field goal. Tracy Smith said, take the ball. So we end up with the ball at the end with the wind to our back so we can go win this game. Rico, 25 for 132 touchdowns.
So there you go.
Whoa, Rico.
Two things. Put yourself in the best position to win. Give the Panthers coaching staff a lot of credit for thinking so far ahead with the crazy windy conditions that we found ourselves in a situation where the rookie kicker had a great kick with the wind.
Yep. Not easy.
That is preparation. That is thinking ahead. Kudos to the coaching staff for that. But all the lauding that you can do takes a step back when you have to consider the Panthers are here and the Rico Dowdle stats are what they are because we all shamed Dave Canales into this. I'm not saying they would have beaten the Buffalo Bills. There was a whole bunch of other stuff that was going on with the Bills, which, hey, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills for once again winning a meaningless regular season matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs.
I will be violently ill if the Chiefs end up in the Super Bowl.
Salute to the Bills for doing nothing and taking no greater meaning of beating the Chiefs in the regular season. But I did not think that the Carolina Panthers were going to beat the Bills. What I was mad about in that game was that I did not think that Dave Canales was putting his team in the best position to win by insisting on Chuba Hubbard. Rico Dowdle, even hurt, nursing something, still found a way to get this thing happening. So shame apparently works. Shame works. And it worked for the Carolina Panthers.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
Go to a 919.
Hello, OG, courtesy driver, 4:03 p.m. Tell me something good indeed. The Panthers go up to Lambeau and win at the end with a field goal. Unbelievable. And apparently Canales finally figured out that he's got a running back by the name of Rico that averages over 5 yards per attempt in rushing. Fascinating. Rico's penalty scared me with the celebration because I thought that was going to bite them in the ass when they missed the extra point because of that penalty. But they held on and they won. Absolutely amazing. All the triangle college teams win in football this weekend, and Carolina goes up there and wins. Tell me something good indeed. Thank you as always. Looking forward to next week's shows.
So Curtis E. bringing up Rico Dowdle's touchdown celebration flag. This has been covered a lot on social media, but it does require some setup here. So I'm not going to play the sound, although Fox is really, really good about flagging this stuff on YouTube, but it's worth it just to play it. But what I'm about to show you on YouTube is Rico Dowdle punching into the end zone, giving the Carolina Panthers a much more substantial lead. And he decides to go Key and Peele, was it Hingle McCringleberry, 3 pumps celebration. The bit in Key and Peele is that the wide receiver does a celebration where he thrusts his hips and he knocks out his teammates with every thrust. So he thrusts once, 1 pump, guy goes down. 2 pumps, another guy goes down. And then he and the ref look at each other like, can I go 3 pumps? He goes 3 pumps, they throw the flag. Come to find out, 2 pumps okay, 3 pumps too much.
Right.
So here comes Rico Dowdle as he is celebrating 1 pump, 2 pumps, and he stops. He stops at 2. He still gets the flag. So it looks like we have an update. They have changed the rules that 3 pumps, too much, 2 pumps was not. But no, it changed. It looks like we've reduced it to 1 pump. You're asking,
What is the premise here? That it's a sexual?
it's excessive.
No,
It's excessive.
Come on,
It's excessive. It's excessive.
no.
I don't know.
Sexually suggestive, I guess.
It is suggested. I don't know. Maybe the Green Bay Packers in all this situation, they end up being the 2 pump chumps in this situation. Now, the Packers end up being the 2 pump chumps at the end of the day. Thankfully, the flag and the missed field goal that came
Extra
with
point,
it,
yeah.
the extra point that came with it, it did not affect the game at the end of the day. I was thinking, holy crap, you should be up by
What
1.
a way to lose.
This would be a hell of a way to lose. And what would have made matters worse is that Dowdle did not understand that the threshold had dropped, because it turns out the Patriots found the new threshold earlier in the day. Here's Stephon Diggs. This is after the Patriots score a touchdown in a weird one against Atlanta. 1 pump, and then he stops. No flag. So we now have a new standard, Joe, in the NFL. 1 pump.
Okay.
2 pumps will now get you a flag. 2 pumps will get you a flag.
I wonder if they were viewing that celebration as being on the Patriots sideline.
Maybe.
See how close they were to the sideline?
Maybe.
I know you're basically allowed to do whatever you want on your own sideline, which is the way that it should be.
One other thing about this Panthers game, going back to shame working.
Mhm.
Shame works. I think people have forgotten that. Ultimately, shame will work. If you shame somebody enough, they'll find the error of their ways, much like Dave Canales did with Rico Dowdle, getting shamed for a week about, dude, what are you doing? Keep riding the hot hand in Rico Dowdle. I'm now wondering if our friends at Meow Mix will also get shamed into not being back this week. This was at 4:06 p.m. on Twitter after the Carolina Panthers locked it in against the Green Bay Packers with a game-winning field goal. Meow Mix on Twitter, quote, "We'll be back this week." I have a question for Meow Mix, the Panthers podcast that
5-2 since they retired.
4-1. 4-1 since they retired.
No, they didn't retire after the Atlanta game.
No, they retired after the follow-up game that was against
The Patriots.
The Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah. They said on October 1 they were done.
Oh, okay.
That was after they lost to the Patriots.
Okay.
So they're now 4-1 since Meow Mix called it quits. So I have a question for Meow Mix.
Well, what do you want out of life, right? You want your team to be good, or you want your podcast?
Do you sport at all? Like, do you sport at all? If you're the same people who are going, hey, man, ride Rico Dowdle. Dave, what are you doing, man? It's working. Keep riding Rico. Why'd you go into this rhythmless business of every other, man? What are you doing, man? All right, I got the same question for you, Meow Mix. Hey, you guys quit because it was too much to do this podcast over a team that stunk, and you used your family as an excuse. And now they're 4-1 since you quit. And I got 2 questions for you. 1, do you want this streak to end? Do you want them to lose out? The other question I would have is, Did you start spending time with your family and realize I don't like my family?
If they come back and they lose at home to the Saints, oh my God.
Right.
That would be.
So I asked the question. If you're about that life and you really do pull for this team and one of your actions can be viewed as superstitious, well, why would you come back? And I'm not even getting to the whole, like, if you're really about this team, you wouldn't quit. I'm not getting into that stuff.
Right.
That's fine, man. That's fine. I'm talking about one simple thing. Actual correlation. You stopped. They started winning. So what's going to happen when you start up again? Don't.
Definitely hold off.
Don't.
Because you lose to the Saints at home.
Because when they lose to the Saints at home, whose fault's it going to be? It ain't going to be.
Can only point the finger one place.
It's not going to be Dave Canales.
No.
It's not going to be Bryce Young. It's not going to be Chuba Hubbard. It's going to be you. Let's go back to the sports phone at 704.
Dave Canales. Do you see what happens when you go to Rico? You go to the hot hand. You see what happens? You beat the Green Bay Packers. Just imagine if you would use this formula last week against Buffalo. Maybe they still would have won. There's a good chance Buffalo would have beat you, but you would have had a chance to be in that game if you had done that. Okay, so you no longer need to be fired as far as I'm concerned. Last week I thought you should be fired just for that type of that because it was malpractice. But good job. You took my advice and you went with Rico and you're reaping the reward. So you no longer should be fired, but I'm telling you, you're on notice. If I just get a hint that Chuba Hubbard is gonna be the starter again while Rico is doing what he's doing now, I mean, I'm going to tell you that you should be fired again. All right? Good job. On to next week, on to New Orleans, and keep up the good work. Keep taking the good advice. Go Panthers.
Shame works, folks. Shame works. All right, let's go to a 919.
Hey, Joes. Go ahead and forward this to the other clients as well. I called a couple of weeks ago talking about how this team drives me insane. How every week I watch this team and it just puts me in a pit of despair. I guess this is how state fans feel on a daily basis. Not take a pot shot at state because, I mean, they did that at Georgia Tech, so you can't really say too much about state. But you know, this is about the Panthers, so let me stay on topic. I came in here and I ran them into the ground because they were a bad team. I still think they're a bad team. But at the end of the day, nobody cares if you're good or bad if you get that win. Keep counting.
I don't at 5-4, you can't say that the Panthers are a bad team. At 5-4, you look at some of the, especially this win against Green Bay, and the way I'll give Dave Canales and the coaching staff credit for finding the religion with Rico Dowdle and understanding that keeping the ball away from Jordan Love was the best way to give yourself an opportunity to win. I want to say Green Bay's offense only had the ball 3 times to open things up. And it put Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, which can be a little inconsistent, as I said at the beginning, into a position where they're going to make mistakes, including that one hero ball that he threw that sailed and the Panthers ended up getting the interception. I mean, I don't know what Jordan Love was doing with that pass. It is what it is, right? So, again, I give the coaching staff a hell of a lot of credit. And to get to 5-4, on top of the fact that your offensive line is a mash unit that has not been able to have a consistent lineup throughout the entire season, and they still found a way to open things up for Rico Dowdle. Again, now Rico does a lot of this himself too, the way he's running. He's running like crazy right now. But you also give the O-line a lot of credit for being able to open up the holes that they were able to hold up. I mean, Ike Ekwonu, if you are an offensive line knower and you get into those pro football focus grades, Ekwonu has actually been pretty good, all things considered. So again, a lot of credit to the Panthers in that regard. So yes, we can kind of graduate them from they're a bad team to, you know what, they're actually pretty good in an NFL season where you have a lot of pretty good. So, and you have to say they're pretty good too, considering that the NFC South is, I'm not saying they're going to win the whole thing, but here's a call from Paul.
Hey guys, it's Paul.
Oh, boy. I can smell it, boys. I can smell it. December, in the hunt playoff graphic. Panthers, collision course.
Panthers are 5-4, currently in second behind the Buccaneers at 6-2. And the Panthers are putting themselves in the position with the rest of their schedule. You mentioned New Orleans. There's also Atlanta and the mess that they are, where you can put yourself in position potentially for the wild card. Do I expect them to win the division? No.
No. Tampa's going to win the division.
But can you put yourself to sneak in through the wild card? Yeah, you can.
I mean,
their
schedule is very hard.
The conversation,
to be clear, their schedule is very hard.
But the Green Bay game was a scheduled loss.
Absolutely.
And they found a way to win.
Absolutely.
So if they can keep this up, hey, man, hey, it's there for you. We'll see what happens going forward. Because right now, the NFL is like to kind of blow the conversation up a little bit beyond the Carolina Panthers. Can you name for me the team?
I mean, you're going to have to take care of the Eagles at some point. You're going to have to knock them out at some point.
But do the Eagles give you the impression that they're going to be able to replicate?
That there's some sort of war machine? No.
Yeah.
But you still have to knock them out. But
yeah. I guess what I'm getting at, especially I'm not saying the Panthers are going to the Super Bowl. What I'm getting at is that any given week right now, it is wide open.
Freaking Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones look like the two best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Like, it's wild.
Now, how much are you going to take into the fact that the Steelers ended up making Daniel Jones look like old Daniel Jones?
I mean,
how much
Sam eventually turned into a pumpkin last year. You know, you're probably going to run into that until it's proven otherwise.
Yeah. So, hey, man. 1 week at a time when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. I get the tendency to look ahead. I'm guilty of it. Did it earlier this year when it looked like it was heading in the wrong direction. We're having conversations about Dave Canales and Bryce Young and what direction do you want to go in? Is it easier to change the quarterback or is it easier to change the coach? Well, Dave Canales has responded. He's getting put on blast for some of his decision-making on a Sunday against Buffalo. He makes the necessary changes. They look ahead to make sure that they're in the right position to hit a field goal with the win to them, going with them. And they pulled it off. They pulled off the game plan. Keep it away from Jordan Love. Force him into mistakes. They did that. And now we're here. I didn't think we'd be here.
But here we are.
But here we are. Anybody can podcast on a Monday. We're proving that one.
Anyone.
Not everybody can explain to you how the interest rates are going to come up and down and what the news of the day might do to impact your interest rates on your mortgage if you want to refinance. One person can, though. Gordon Miller Lending. So check them out as I lose my pen. Check them out. 919-447-3377 is the number, or go to millerlending.com/theog. If you take that thing to close, you'll get a Butcher's Market gift basket.
Yes, you will.
Which will come in clutch for the holiday season. But just have the conversation with our friends at Miller Lending. The reason why is that they're going to have an honest conversation with you. I have been told, just like Joe has been told, now is not the time to do this. And when it is time to do this, we will tell you. We will call you. It's not follow up with us in 6 months. No, it's like, hey, guys, the conditions.
Here's the math. Here are your choices.
Here are the conditions. It's now time to do this. So check them out at millerlending.com/theog. As we mentioned, the Butcher's Market, they bring you OG Live, they bring you the mailbag, and they bring you quality catering. So check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com, and you can get the ball rolling on providing your office with a proper holiday party, Joe. I know this is something that you are very adamant about. Very adamant about. And speaking of refinance and things like that, if you take it to close, hey, you can do it at Whitaker and Hamer. Check them out online at Whitaker and Hamer at wh.lawyer. Whitaker and Hamer, attorneys and counselors at law. They can help you out with things like that. They can help you out with LLC dissolvement, like all sorts of stuff. And all you got to do is go to their website.
Can we have guerrilla coverage of a Christmas parade? Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, actually, I don't need a lawyer for that. I just have to look at the market conditions to understand that. So wh.lawyer. And of course, our friends at Two Roosters, we're sitting here talking about catering.
It's November.
You got to make sure that you got what you need for your holiday parties. Thanksgiving, it's right around the corner, folks. You know how we feel about this.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So what you need to do is head on over to Two Roosters and get yourself
The chocolate chess pie, the pumpkin loaf with the cream cheese ice cream. And now Giglio's making a face because he just saw something on the website.
What?
What is it? What did you see?
Pineapple upside down cake.
Pineapple upside down cake?
Maraschino cherry base ice cream with caramelized pineapple cake pieces.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh my goodness. And yes, the chocolate chess pie. Regular flavor. In addition to the chocolate chess pie, which is phenomenal.
So go to tworoosters.com. You know, it's funny. I was looking at all the things that were happening on Monday, and that turned into the let's play my favorite game, rank in order things you think the Triangle audience cares about on a Monday.
Okay.
With a very, very busy sports day.
Yeah.
Rank them. And I did not put them in any particular order. I might have secretly ranked them in the way that I would rank them. State Georgia Tech, UNC over Cuse, Duke over Clemson, Panthers over the Packers. Stadium urinals, ACC hoops begins.
Are we back with more stadium urinals?
We might be, Joe. Oh, and of course, the World Series. So let's actually start with the World Series. This World Series, once again, proving that deep down, people still care about baseball. Deep down, you give people something compelling, and they're going to get wrapped up into it. And this World Series, I don't know enough baseball history. I'm not that kind of guy to sit here and tell you this was the greatest World Series we've seen, but it certainly provided the drama that we love, the drama that is required for just about everybody to be talking about the World Series, to break through in a football-dominated news cycle. That's how good this World Series was. And man, Toronto,
I legitimately feel bad for them.
How?
I do. They had it. It's one thing to lose. It's one thing to back and forth, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But to be up the way that they were, and then to have the home run by Rojas, this guy hasn't done anything with the bat. What an inning for him.
Yeah.
Makes the play on the chopper to second base, hits the home run, ties the game. Bottom of the ninth, makes the play that, you could replay that thing a million times, and it will be from now until the end of time. That sequence, that ninth inning, was just unbelievable theater. And for Yamamoto to come in after pitching 96, having 96 pitches in game 6, that was just insane. The whole everything was insane, right down to, bringing in the center fielder who knocked over the left fielder, knocked over Kiki to get the ball. Just a wild, wild, wild ending to the World Series. And it ends with the Dodgers repeating, first NL team since the Big Red Machine in 75-76 to repeat. So, I hate it. I'm sick for the Blue Jays, but ultimately the Dodgers and all of the moves that they made, they had to make every single play in the order that they did in order to come back and win that game. And Will Smith's homer to win it for them in extra innings, just truly, truly, truly amazing. It was pretty cool too. The state game ended. And Steve has a big tailgate, has a big TV at the tailgate. There were no less than 200 people at that tailgate watching the end of that game as the state fans trickled out of Carter Finley Stadium and watched the ninth inning of that game. It was kind of a cool scene.
Elsewhere, we started the show with the Reckoning, WR, to tonight, Lenovo Center.
It begins.
It's sold out tonight, right?
And so it begins. For the first time, NC State's home opener is sold out for the first time since the very first game in that building on November 19th, 1999.
NC State versus Georgia.
NC State versus Georgia.
Damian Wilkins
playing for NC State, and eventually he would play for Georgia.
That's the last time a home opener was sold out.
Justin Gainey, Anthony Grundy, Kenny Inge, Damon Thornton. Yes. State wins 67-63. The coach for Georgia, our guy, Jim Herrick.
The reckoning is here, Joe.
All summer, all fall, we've been building our foundation. Every rep, every sprint, every shot. Brick by brick for this moment. Tomorrow, it begins. Our fans, our students, our coaches, our players, we're all in together. And we don't ever give up. The Red Reckoning is here. And we've got something special. The pack is back. Time to go to work.
Wait a minute. I'm pausing the video right here. Where have I seen this pose before, Joe? So for those who are watching on YouTube, you can clearly see he is, I'll describe now to the audio only podcast. They are in Reynolds Coliseum. Will Wade is shot at an angle where he is sitting on one of the fold out seats.
Front
row. And he's got a basketball in front of him. Is he going to put the foot on the basketball? Oh no, he did it one better. He did the thinking pose.
Yeah.
Where have I seen this before, Joe?
Saw it in Sports Illustrated in May of 1993. That was Jim Valvano. Unfortunately, at the time, he was going through cancer treatment at Duke. That's why he's sitting at Cameron Indoor Stadium weeks before he would pass away.
You know what? I'm going to let it slide. Let him cook. All right. Will Wade's going for that nostalgia nerve center right there. He's trying to, if we're going to use a Notre Dame-ism, wake up the echoes or whatever it is.
Yes.
Isn't that what the phrase is? Wake up the echoes. I think that's what Will Wade's doing here. That's very, very calculated. Very, very well done. And now it took a week, but we're finally here. It's the start of the season.
Play Central tonight.
They do play Central tonight. Hopefully
they're 33.5 point favorites.
That's Vegas, man.
Carolina plays Central Arkansas. They are 30.5 point favorites. We don't get to see Duke until tomorrow. They play Sean Miller and Texas tomorrow down in Charlotte.
We're here to talk about Texas basketball.
Here to talk about Sean Miller sweating.
Okay. So last week, I'll admit, I got on your ass about an exhibition game.
Okay.
And the reckoning and everything else.
Yeah.
Now that the regular season is here and you evoke Jim Valvano, buddy, you better win. You could say the reckoning all day, but now you're going for the imagery? Dude, well done. Like, seriously, well done. I saw what you did there. It's like a Marvel Cinematic Universe Easter egg. Got it. Message received. But dude, you better win now.
Also, hat tip to Pam Barber, Kat's mom. The last time NC State and NC Central played at the arena was the very famous Scared Money, Don't Make No Money game.
Well, we have officially entered Scared Money, Don't Make Money mode for the Wolfpack. Speaking of Duke, are you willing to take back everything you've said about Cam Boozer based on the cargo jorts?
Yeah, I am very impressed and excited about Cam Boozer, the Wolf Blood. I want to see what he does this year at Duke.
Yeah.
But when I saw him roll up in jorts, I was like, I think he might be being ironic.
No. I respect it. No, man. Fashion's back. We're at the point where it's like our grandparents or our parents going, you understand that we put bell bottoms away for a reason.
Yeah, we retired those.
We retired those for a reason.
The jorts had me rethinking some of my Cam Boozer takes.
But the cargo jorts, that's one of those. Look, man, we left those at Old Navy back in 1999 for a reason. But hey, you know what? I respect the fit. I respect it. Carolina Hurricanes. They've lost 3 of their last 4, Joe.
Uh-oh, are we back?
We're back.
Back in the
thick of it.
Back in the New York groove.
Although Coach Etkoff got called up, so
Katchikoff, did you see his goal?
Yes.
That was amazing.
Let's do that again. Just now.
Waddell voice.
Yes. So let's go do that.
Katchikoff.
I just put that in there because I know the Canes fans are like freaking out. They lose to Boston. It's neither here nor there. I'm not too worried about it. So we're just going to move on from that.
Ooh, they play tomorrow too up in New York.
This is where
are they ever coming home?
I know they've been
just
nonstop.
get like a couple of games.
So here's where I'm going to give our guy Kent Sports a lot of credit.
Yeah.
So Hugh Freeze got fired at Auburn. It was one of those things that we all kind of understood was going to happen. Embarrassing loss to Kentucky. So here we are. Auburn's moving on from Hugh Freeze. But we have now college football, college athletics always finds a way to one up previous like inflection points in how we engage with coaching searches and firings. So oftentimes we have talked about going back to Herb Sendek, right?
Yeah.
And going back to 1999 and everything else. You remember FlightAware got into our vocabulary as college fans when NC State fans were using the website FlightAware to track Wendell Murphy's plane, Air Hog 1.
Yep.
Auburn fans have gone to another level where on Twitter they noticed Hugh Freeze's tee time had changed.
No, been canceled.
I'm sorry. That's right. So the tee time had changed, and the change was coming 4 hours before he was fired at Auburn. I'll let Kent Sports explain it on Instagram.
Than SEC football Twitter. Wait till you see this. So Auburn fired Hugh Freeze in his 3rd disappointing season with the team today. But 4 hours before the announcement goes public, this tweet goes out where a Twitter user who works at a golf course near Auburn exposed that Hugh Freeze's standing tee time had been changed. Again, 9:46 a.m. Hugh Freeze, big golf guy, apparently has a standing tee time at 1:30 p.m. every Sunday at this course. But they realized early this morning the 1:30 tee time had changed, which should only mean a shakeup on the plains is imminent. 4 hours later, ESPN's Pete Thamel releases the breaking news that Auburn has fired Hugh Freeze. Something else wild. So DJ Durkin's taken over as the interim coach, but look at this. The Iron Bowl this year will be the 7th straight year there's been a unique coaching matchup with a lot of coaching changes recently. Unless Durkin gets named the full-time head coach, then next year will be 8 straight unique head coaching matchups in the Iron Bowl. Crazy. Not all's bad for Hugh Freeze. He's getting a $16 million buyout, which is a ton. It's not as big as some of these big Brian Kelly, James Franklin ones, but nothing to be mad at. And overall, he had a losing record every year. You just can't do that at a school like Auburn. But man, now another major program has a head coach opening this offseason. It's going to be crazy.
So there you go.
This one gives me pause.
In what sense?
No, salute to Auburn fans. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because Auburn, of course, would be charter members of the Irate Giglio Conference.
Of course.
So
of course.
this only cements their legacy as Irate Conference members. Auburn coming open, even though we expected it. I am starting, I don't want to say get concerned. I'm getting concerned for Duke. That of all the schools who have all these top level choices, I worry for Duke that Manny Diaz is going to get one of these jobs. That's my concern for Duke. And I have a feeling the way that Nina King has been hitting home runs with her hires, that she could lose Manny Diaz and be okay because she's been great in making hires. I also have a feeling that Tommy Rees is going to be her choice. And you're going to see a lot of people and some hand wringing going on about, now look what Duke did and look who they hired and look where they are.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a feeling. I have a funny feeling. Because again, Nina King, Notre Dame grad. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get that feeling.
Dabo wouldn't go to Auburn, would he?
No, Alabama guy. No.
What do you think, Dabo? I think
Dabo would go to Ole Miss if Lane left. I think he would.
So there's two,
and I would hire him if I was Ole Miss.
There are 2 ACC coaches, one current, one former, that are going to be fascinating this offseason.
Yes.
Jimbo Fisher being the former ACC coach.
See, I could see Auburn hiring Jimbo. Couldn't you?
I could see that too.
Yeah.
He'll hate it there, but I could see that. I could absolutely see that happening. He's probably thinking about this and Nick Saban ain't there anymore, so why not? Because I do think there's a larger conversation to be had, and Dimitri's filling in for you tomorrow. I was actually saving this conversation for Dimitri because he's Mr. Alabama, Mr. Nick Saban.
Yes.
In that all of the hires that we've had in the last decade, as Kent Sports pointed out, the Iron Bowl. Well, the reason why the Iron Bowl looks like that is because they kept chasing the Nick Saban thing.
Yeah.
And you were positioning guys in the SEC to take out Nick Saban, either hire one of his guys, you know the drill, right? But that doesn't exist anymore. So I could see a Jimbo Fisher and some dumbasses in Auburn going, I know what we need, a guy who's still stuck in 2005 coaching our team. That's what we need. Sure, that'll work out with Jimbo Fisher. We'll pay him a bunch of money. That'll work out. Or in the case of Manny Diaz, I got it really good here at Duke.
Oh, he's got a great situation. I'm just saying, like,
do I want to swap?
Somebody doubles you up though.
Do I want to swap this out for what he knows? Because he's been at luxury programs, Miami. He's been at Penn State. Do I want like the Penn State thing? Do I really want to go that?
No, Penn State's not going to hire Manny.
You don't know how that's going to go though with the hiring.
I have some ideas.
Yeah, some ideas. Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll see how that all plays out. So there's the Jimbo Fisher aspect, and then there's the other one in Clemson and Dabo.
Yeah.
And what does Dabo do? Like Chappell Fowler, I was reading his tweets about yesterday's press availability for Dabo, and he was kind of clarifying some of the things that he had said. And one of the things that he had said, he threw out there was recruiting. Like everything's got to change. The coaching's got to change. The recruiting's got to change. And it's like, has Dabo finally caught the new religion? And he's actually going to follow through on what they need to do to be a. It's basically Dabo was admitting something that we have talked about and what's got you into arguments with Eric McElwain of the ACC Network.
Yeah.
In that this ain't the same talent level we've seen at Clemson.
No.
That got them to the top and got them to national championships. This is not that talent level. And the great experiment that we talked about was doubling down and developing your guys to have a payoff season. As you can tell, it has not paid off. It's gone the opposite direction.
Quite the opposite.
So either Dabo hits the reset button at Clemson, and he's certainly earned the right to do it, to hit the reset button.
Or the parallel lives that Dave Doeren and Dabo Swinney are living right now.
Or he has to go somewhere else to do it. Well, in what sense for Dave Doeren?
Just the different levels of fan frustration, right?
Yeah. Well, people want to like Dabo.
They usually do, but I think these last few years they've been a little bit of a brain twister.
Fair. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. And finally, when I was ranking things, I had urinals last.
Urinals. Okay.
College Football Campus Tour did it again, Joe.
More urinals.
Missouri State with urinals that have a window that overlook the football field. That's really impressive. Not going to lie.
No, of course, if you could look out, people could look in.
They can see torso up because of the way the window is.
Sure. It doesn't look like there's reflective black tile in there. So
that's good too. There's no partitions to keep you and your neighbor from, and those are close enough where I feel like there's enough of a splash zone there.
The field view.
But the
what
field
a great
view,
tweet.
The field view is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I promise
of course you have to watch Missouri State football, but
it's something over there. Props to College Football Campus Tour, finding all the best urinals across the country. Big thanks to Brassfield Accounting. They bring you our conversations with Mike Maniscalco during the Cane season. We'll talk to Maniscalco, I think, on Wednesday after they play New York on Tuesday night. So hopefully they'll get back on the winning side of things and everybody gets healthier. That's what we want. In the meantime, you want to make sure the books are healthy, right? You want to make sure you have a nice, clean bill of health when you're getting ready for your taxes. So make sure all that stuff looks good with a fractional CFO. That is Chris Brassfield. So go to brassfieldaccounting.com. Again, that's brassfieldaccounting.com, especially if you're dealing in the world of government grants. He'll take care of you. Big thanks to Happy and Hail. Check them out online. Download the app today. Use our promo code OG25 to get 25% your first order.
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hail.
Have you had the banana bread smoothie yet?
Delightful.
Just the right amount of nutmeg. It's really good stuff.
Perfect.
And it's a smoothie that does not require the protein add-ins. It's already in there for you. So hopefully you got a nice workout in after you had the banana bread smoothie, Joe.
I played golf. I mean,
there you go.
I hope that counts.
Yeah, I got to start calling you Tim Brando. You're posting your shots on social media these days.
I hit it off the cart path. I was very proud of that. I was onto the green, by the way.
Off that hit?
Yeah.
Nice. Good for you. Good for you. So download the app today. Use that promo code OG25 to save 25% off your first order. And of course, big thanks to our friends Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. When we are coming up with our OG NASCAR style sponsorship shirt, Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority is on that shirt. They've been with us from the jump. So check them out, bugsbite.com for Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. I like the direction the shirt's going to go, and we're going to put it for sale. You also notice
it's definitely not what I would have thought, but it is a next level process that you're going through.
So. Well, you notice that I have been texting our corporate champion saying, hey, look, we kind of need you to re-up for 2026 because if we're going to put you on the shirt, that's a big commitment.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's a big commitment. In the meantime, go to bugsbite.com. No commitment there. Month to month, man. No contracts. With our friends at Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Let's go back to the OG sports phone. We got this text saying, and I believe the text reads, if I can pull this up real quick, just make sure you send this to Dave Canales. Please pass this on to Canales for me. And it's a text exchange. How did Rico do? It was over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got banged up on one play, and he looked like he got hurt in his groin, but he only sat out for 1 series. He scored another touchdown after, so hopefully it's not serious. 25 carries, 130 yards, 2 TDs. And the response was, see? Again, he's been your best player all year. Utilize him. Shouldn't be that complicated. Should not be that complicated. Speaking of the Panthers from a 919, I am calling for a complete and total shutdown of the Meow Mix podcast until we can further figure out what the hell is going on. Completely agree. All right, let's get into some NC State fans and the conflicted feelings that emerged on Saturday night after they beat Georgia Tech from a 910.
Woke up this morning, gonna call the OG sports phone. Gonna see how many callers still want Dave gone. Just kidding. Probably a lot, though. What a great game, though, by Doeren and the boys. Great coaching. Loved it. What matters is that college football was fun again in Raleigh for the first time this season. At least it felt like it was the first time this season. Or Raleigh-Durham, if you're the very confused announcer that thinks we're playing on the tarmac at the airport. But I loved it. No negativity over here. I think that's just a load of BS. Everybody's gonna be like, well, he should do it. Who cares? Just enjoy it. Should be happy we won. Whatever. That was awesome. Everybody else won too. Not that I care about the blue schools. By the way, I was Connor. I was the guy that actually asked the question. Or I typed it out, wrote it in earlier this year about Dave's retirement. That kind of you guys answered on the mailbag, which I appreciate. And then I kind of regret asking that now because I feel like it's just been a sea of negativity around him, even though I did want to know the answer. It's been good for business, though. Or you guys. Thanks for doing what you guys do. Go Pack.
Telling you. Dave needs to have somebody, a plant in the scrum, ask him about retirement every week.
Scrum. Yes. Thursday he does availability in person. Yes.
You gonna show up? Ask him.
I'm good.
Let's go to a 434.
This is David calling. Live down in Garner. Been a State fan my whole life. And I just feel like there's some things that people are missing about the Dave Doeren situation. There's a chance he could go 9-4 if he wins a bowl game. There's also a chance he could lose every game for the rest of the year. So how do you quantify those two things when he's been there for 13 years? So it's pretty complicated, but there's a recruiting side to this too. If Dave doesn't return, how many guys go to the portal? Probably most of them. But if he goes 9-4 and wins a bowl game, if he comes back for next year, how many guys stay? Either way, there should be some kind of exit plan for him, but I feel like we still need to keep our integrity through it because he has done a lot of things for the university and a lot of good things for a lot of student athletes that have been through the program. It's just not an easy decision, but I could see it getting toxic and him being fired. I could see him coming back next year to try to save guys in the portal, assuming there's an exit plan accompanied with that. We really just don't know. Either way, it's probably time for a change, whether that means we start the process for an exit plan and he comes back next year. But let's maintain our integrity here with Dave. He's done a lot of great things. Is it ending? Yes. Can we be respectful through it? Yes. And I think that's where we should be. With that in mind, let's hope for the 9-4, and let's hope guys stay for next year, even though I doubt that's going to happen because I'm pretty sure C.J. Bailey's going to get a bigger paycheck somewhere else. But we can hope. Go Pack.
So some of you all got mad at me for discussing the possibility of NC State going 6-0 going into the Notre Dame game. And now we're talking about, well, now they could go 9-4. Y'all, relax. You know how I feel about looking too ahead in this current landscape, and also what we know about ACC football in general, and of course, triangle football in general. 1 week at a time, y'all. 1 week at a time. Are they certainly winnable games for NC State? Yes. If anything, the season is just further crystallizing the problems that people have with Dave Doeren. How is it that in the course of one season, you can have 2 top 25 wins against the teams that are in the hunt for the ACC championship and also have embarrassing losses to Virginia Tech and Pitt? Not that Pitt is bad, just the way that game played out was embarrassing.
True freshman quarterback just throwing it all over on you.
Let's go to a 252.
Hey guys, so this isn't going to be a call about like celebrating that the reckoning is finally here. We'll see what happens there. I'm overly optimistic because I'm a State fan, and that's what I'm naturally, my natural pull is. But what I wanted to call in about was something outside the reckoning, something outside of kind of pull out to like 1,000 foot and look at something for a second. Regardless of how this experiment goes with Will Wade, one thing I can guarantee you, let's rewind about a year ago when we were hanging the banners and what that night should have been like. That's the night we're going to get tonight. For everything about Kevin Keats, I will say it as a State fan, he deserved better on that night from what he got in attendance of the celebration of the raising of the banners. I think we've all been wanting for. Now, how we got there and all the ins and outs, that all has been talked about to a ton. But tonight is what that night should have looked like. And it's going to be interesting because I was in the building last year at this time. It just didn't feel like the celebration because there was no way I was missing that game. And I'm shocked how many people didn't feel that way about it, regardless of who the coach was. We didn't celebrate that night the way we should have. It'll be interesting looking up at those 2 banners again tonight and the feeling that should be in that building tonight that I think will be, and just the dichotomy between the two. So I'm looking forward to tonight, regardless of how the reckoning goes, regardless of how the season goes. Tonight will be fun, and I think we'll actually finally get the celebration that we all should have had last year. Y'all have a good one.
There's a lot of similarities to how we're talking about Dave Doeren after the Georgia Tech win and how last year went for Kevin Keats after actually going out there and winning the ACC championship and getting to a Final Four team. Once a fan base has decided on you, they've decided.
Yeah.
And I thought that call is a good kind of juxtaposition as to we've got this coach tonight at NC State that people want to like, that fresh car, that new car smell. which you can't replicate with an air freshener. It's got to be a new car. It's the only way you're going to get it. And there's an element of that at play with Dave Doeren too, in that people are ready for the new car. You know, I used the grocery store analogy last week, which, by the way, going back to the sports phone, shout out to the guy who texted me that they did go to a grocery store and they were playing Krungbin, and he went, "You bastards, you were right." So I told you. The meme was accurate. If that band's playing at the grocery store, here we are. So I used the grocery store.
Way too much.
Paying way too much. I used the grocery store analogy last week. I'm going to use the new car analogy this week when it comes to Dave Doeren. Think of your favorite vehicle. You've had it for 13 years. It gets you to where you need to be, but there's little things here and there that you're just kind of over. You know? It's like, this car could do this if I just went out and bought it. And I had that. I had an old 2008 Honda Pilot, man. I think I had 175,000 miles on it. But, it just started to the things that needed to be updated and didn't have an aux in, and the navigation was old. I didn't want to buy a new DVD. Remember when it was DVD navigation back in the day? Didn't have all the new bells and whistles. It was getting, 18 miles a gallon. Like, I don't know at that point. It's time, but it got me where I needed to be. It was time for something new. And that's kind of where we're at with Dave Doeren and NC State fans.
I think the call from Kyle about the celebration, the opener last year. Yeah, I mean, we said it in real time. That was not great.
It was the beginning of the end.
And but I will say, I think the celebration that he was looking for was the actual Final Four itself. Like, I know some people are like, "Oh man, I wish Michael O'Connell didn't get hurt or whatever." Like, no. Like, that was getting there was the celebration.
That was the celebration.
And being in Phoenix, that was the celebration. The opener last year was more of the we can't sell out this building for these banners. And then as Carolina, my friends at Carolina correctly pointed out, you guys are such rookies. Like, sure, raise the Final Four one today, but you wait till we come to town for the ACC one.
Yes. Come on now.
Come on, guys.
Space it out.
Shoot your load of
Space it out.
Opening night. Tonight will be interesting to see, the building full for not Duke or Carolina.
Yeah.
Like, that has, the only other time I've seen that was when Virginia played Tennessee in the NCAA tournament.
All right, let's go to a 919.
I am so pissed. Pissed. You hear me, Joe? I'm pissed. Yes, I'm happy that we won. Yes, it's great. We beat a top 10 team. But you know what? I'm driving the bus home, and I'm just pissed because you know what this means. There's no way Boo fires him. There's no way he retires at the end of the season after this and after he beats Florida State and Bill Belichick. I mean, and you just know that it pissed Doeren off that he had to go out there and run up 600 yards worth of offense. You know it pissed him off that he had to do that and win this way. All we're doing is kicking the can down the road by winning a game like this. And you're right. NC State wins, Dave Doeren loses. Maybe I just can't be happy with anything. But I will say I am happy for Monday night because the Burnerverse, we won. We won the basketball fight. We might lose the football fight, but the Burnerverse, we won the basketball fight.
I love the Burnerverse. And yes, I do think it's hilarious that we're assigning great meaning to where we're at. I don't think anything has changed.
Well, I don't think Boo was ever going to fire Dave, period. I don't. My thought process all along has been it would be Dave who said, as the conversations that we had with him, like, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore." I never thought Boo would do that.
I think you referenced it on last week or the mailbag or whatever. It was it was on Thursday when Dave said, "Maybe I got 4 years left on my contract."
Yeah,
that's the agent. It's the agent.
Oh yeah, the good angel.
It's going to be. It is. If anything, all this is doing, in my opinion, is it's hilarious that we're here after a huge win over Georgia Tech. Hilarious to me that this is where we're at. But this is kind of what the season was always going to be about, and that was, as I said at the beginning of today's podcast, set the tone in the ECU game.
I think it hurts that it's these other teams too. Like if Miami and Clemson or Florida State are running hot, you just shrug and go,
Yeah.
But you can't walk into a building and see a top 10 Georgia Tech even after beating them and being like, well, wait a second, why are they
Why
there?
are you in the top 10?
Georgia
Why is
Tech?
Virginia hanging around in the top 25
Those
and
are
being used as a college football playoff positioning chip?
And the fact that you have wins over them is even more of a mind bender. Like it's a just total mind bender.
Which is why it's going to be the thing that my guess is, and based on everything that I've ever been told and how you positioned it, Boo Corrigan being in the position he hates to be in.
Yeah.
Having to make a choice now.
Is it really a choice though?
Well, if the money people tell him it's a choice,
Well,
yes.
there you go.
And that's what I'm getting at.
There you go.
That's why I don't think really anything changes, because I kept the opinion that the money people made their decision, and they made it last year and how this season was funded. Was it not?
Right.
Okay.
But that part of that was Dave too, remember, because they had gone into the portal for the 2024 season and it didn't work out. And remember, he hated that team.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of both. Like, hey, I don't want all this money to go out and get players.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Brandon Cisse. I'd rather have, CJ Bailey. I'd rather have the guys I go and find. So, it's let's see how it plays out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of me that says after beating Georgia Tech, maybe Dave's even more motivated to say, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, maybe.
I won these games. Now I'm really going to walk
That's
away.
entirely possible.
Watch me walk away and drop
possible.
the mic now.
All right, let's go to 704.
Joes, can we just talk about how NC State has fucked the ACC twice? Talking about a 3-bid league now, maybe no bids, maybe one. I don't know. Whoever thought?
I don't think.
They get one.
Yeah, they're going to get one. They never were going to get three. I would also say, let's see how the rest
but yeah,
they were never going to get three because the ACC. They could get two. They could still get two because there's still a lot of football left. They could still get two.
Miami was still ranked this week.
No, I'm not even talking about.
I know. I'm just telling you.
I know.
South Florida. Who's the other one? Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm. They got good wins.
I don't know.
They got good wins.
They can't beat anybody.
Let's go to 919. Well, they can't do it in November. Let's go to 919.
I hope someone actually told the announcer during the State Georgia Tech game that Raleigh, Durham are two different cities. Raleigh and Durham. I hate Raleigh, Durham. Bye.
Whoo, people mad about this one.
Matt Schumacher had a night from ESPN2. This was Matt Schumacher and Sam Acho. And I didn't listen to any of the game because I was at the game. So, yeah, multiple people were like, man, Raleigh, Durham? Really?
Yeah. At some point, whoever the producers are that are in charge of doing games, because I get it. I mean, what does Sam Acho and this other guy know about the area, right?
Yeah.
It's classic stuff. I mean, for all I know, they probably think the Carolina Hurricanes play in Charlotte too. It could be one of those situations. But you'd think by now in 2025 that enough pushback, there would be at least somebody whose job it is on the broadcast working at ESPN going, hey, by the way, guys, as we're prepping for this game, Raleigh Durham's the airport.
Well, this is a guy I'm guessing has never done a game. I've never heard of this person. And I'm saying Macker because it's Macker.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Shoemaker, but
no idea. All right, one more. 613.
Hello, Joe and Joe, OG fan in Canada, calling you the Saturday after Halloween, after a heartbreaking Blue Jays loss last night. The mission accomplished victory for Chapel Bill. Yay. Duke just beat Clemson. But I actually called to talk to you about something else, to beg of you both. Do not dissolve the LLC. Joe, forgive Joe for cheating on you with another podcast. Joe, forgive Joe his taste in music. Give us this day our daily lightning rounds and Hey Joes. And, of course, the OG Sports Found. For the sake of all the Gen X children of divorce, you guys got to keep it together, man. Okay, love you. Mean it. Go Pack.
Canada. Love it.
Oh,
I feel bad for Toronto. Legit.
I was at some friends on Halloween that are from the Toronto area, and they were all decked out.
Yeah.
All decked out. So hype. It's a tough way to lose.
It's so good.
Tough way to lose. Also, shout out to ESPN. I was waiting for somebody to do the official Drake back-to-back graphic.
Oh no.
So ESPN was the one that did it. They basically copied the Drake single that went after Meek Mill back in the day. There's some deep rap lore that you have to understand.
Sure.
With Drake and all that kind of stuff. and they did go with the back-to-back, and I thought that was very, very well done. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Thanks for calling the sports phone. Thanks for rating us 5 stars, 5 stars only, positive vibes only. And of course, thank you for buying some of the merch that's out there. I don't know if this one's still on the secret stash. We might have been taken down, but could be a one of one. However, the OG Triangle Media Shop is up and running, and it wraps up 12/1, December 1st. So if you're going to buy hoodies, now is the time to do it. We'll see you tomorrow.